When you reach the age of 40, something subtle but profound begins to stir. It's not just a birthday or a midlife marker. It's a spiritual crossroads. Many ignore it. They dismiss the quiet pool in their chest, the strange dreams, the moments of deep restlessness that can't be explained. But this isn't coincidence. It's a calling. Life is no longer content to let you drift. Your soul is trying to wake you up. It's whispering that there's more meaning, more truth, more connection. But to access it, you must be willing to leave behind the identity you've worn for decades. You've played roles, worn masks, and followed scripts handed to you by family, culture, even fear. Now life asks, who are you really when the noise quiets and no one's watching? I've seen it again and again. People over 40 feel something changing, but they push it down. They distract themselves. They cling to what's familiar even if it no longer fits. But this resistance is dangerous, because what you don't realize is that the universe has opened a window for you, a short, sacred window to shift, to align, to remember who you are and why you came. Ignore it, and you risk sleepwalking through the rest of your life. Answer it, and everything begins to reorganize around your truth. This phase is not a crisis. It's an invitation, a threshold, the beginning of your spiritual adulthood. The veil gets thinner, and the whispers from your soul get louder. Don't silence them. Don't delay. This is the moment your real life begins. This is not the end. It's the first true beginning. Look around. The world is louder than it has ever been. Notifications, headlines, scrolling, deadlines. It's a non-stop blur of stimulation. And beneath it all, there's a quiet voice inside you. Barely audible now. That voice used to speak more clearly. It used to guide you. But years of noise have pushed it into the background, buried under layers of distraction and obligation. You may not even realize it, but your connection to your inner world, the part of you that knows who you truly are, has grown faint, not because it's gone, but because the volume of everything else has been turned up so high. You see, the modern world thrives on keeping you externally focused. It keeps you running, reacting, consuming. But the soul doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It waits patiently for you to turn inward again. After 40, something shifts. That quiet voice doesn't go away. In fact, it starts tapping more insistently. You begin to feel disoriented, as if something is missing, but you can't quite name it. That's not a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that something deeper wants to come through. But it won't happen while you're plugged into the noise 24/7. You have to create silence again. You have to remember what stillness feels like. That's where your real compass is buried. That's where guidance lives. It's not in a podcast, a book, or a breaking news alert. It's in the space between your thoughts. In the breath you've forgotten to take. In the heartbeat you ignore as you rush through your day. You must choose to reclaim that silence. You must dare to unplug, to listen, to be still long enough to hear the voice you've forgotten, and to let it lead you home. By the time you reach 40, something within you begins to awaken with urgency. It's not anxiety, it's memory, a spiritual kind of memory, not from your brain, but from your soul. Deep down you already know why you're here. You may have forgotten the details, distracted by life, career, family or survival, but the blueprint hasn't disappeared. It's been quietly pulsing beneath the surface, waiting for the right time to rise. That time is now. There is a reason certain things no longer satisfy you. Why the goals you chased no longer feel fulfilling. It's because your soul contract, what you agreed to do before you arrived in this life, is calling you back. You didn't come here just to pay bills, accumulate things, or meet expectations set by others. You came here to embody something only you can bring into this world. And once you pass 40, the silence you've kept around that truth starts to crack. You might feel restless, ungrounded, maybe even scared. That's because the life you built might not reflect the truth you carry. But this discomfort is not punishment, it's guidance. It's life saying, remember what lit you up as a child, what gave you chills when you imagined doing it. Remember the moments you felt timeless, weightless, fully alive. Those were glimpses of your true path. But make no mistake, this remembering is not automatic. It requires intention. You must turn inward and ask, what have I abandoned that I promised I would fulfill? Because that promise still lives in you. And until you return to it, nothing else will truly satisfy you. You are not lost. You are being summoned. By the time you reach midlife, you carry more than years. You carry weight, not just physical, but emotional, spiritual. Old regrets, unresolved pain, broken trust, disappointments you never voiced. And for many, the instinct is to bury these things, to tuck them away in some corner of the psyche, out of sight. But just because you've hidden them doesn't mean they're gone. In fact, they're very much alive, and they're interfering with your awakening. You can meditate, journal, go on retreats, even pray for clarity. But if you haven't faced what's been left unfinished inside you, it will keep blocking the light trying to reach you. We are all wounded in some way. No one escapes childhood, relationships, or time without scars. But those wounds are not meant to define you. They're meant to transform you. If you ignore them, they become walls. If you face them, they become doors. And this awakening you're experiencing, this inner shift after 40, it's not just about you. Yes, it begins with your personal healing, your reconnection to spirit, your search for meaning. But ultimately, it's meant to ripple outward. The truth is, the world is starving for wisdom, and not the kind that comes from books or headlines, but the kind that comes from people who have lived, who have searched, and who have searched, and who have seen. You've crossed a threshold. You've survived things others are still trying to understand. You've been humbled, reshaped, and reminded that nothing external can replace what must be found within. That makes you incredibly valuable, now more than ever, because this world is spinning faster, getting noisier, more disconnected. And while everyone else is looking for answers out there, the real medicine is in people like you. People who have returned to themselves and remembered what matters. The real medicine is in people like you. People who have returned to themselves and remembered what matters. This world is spinning faster, getting noisier, more disconnected. And while you can live without the pain of isolation, life tends to define you by your thresholds. And if you've awakened, even just a little, then you have a responsibility. Not to preach, not to convert, but to embody what others have forgotten, your presence, your groundedness, your quiet knowing. It becomes a lifeline for others, and whether you realize it or not, people are watching. They are sensing your energy, feeling the depth you carry, the peace you've earned. You don't have to be a guru. You don't need a stage. You just need to show up fully in your truth, wherever you are, in your home, in your work, in your daily interactions. That's what lights the way. That's what heals. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more light. And that light is you. There comes a moment in every life when the soul stops whispering and begins to knock. Not gently, but firmly, urgently. For many, that moment arrives after 40. And that moment arrives after 40. You may feel it as restlessness or a strange emptiness, even when everything around you seems fine. That's not coincidence. That's your spirit saying, time is not endless. You are not promised another decade to wait, to stall, to postpone your truth until things feel more comfortable or convenient. At some point, you have to decide if you're going to live the life you were meant to live or keep playing the part others handed you. There's no more time to keep dancing around your calling, no more room to shrink yourself for the comfort of others. The window is narrowing, and if you don't act now, if you don't choose now, there is a real danger that the light inside you begins to dim, not from lack of talent or opportunity, but from lack of courage. You already know what you need to do. That quiet nudge, that persistent vision, that buried dream, it's not going away. You can't outrun your own purpose. You can only delay it. And the longer you delay, the heavier the regret becomes. This is your invitation to step in fully. Not someday, not when everything lines up perfectly, but now, with all your flaws, with all your doubts, with your human imperfection intact. You're not being asked to be perfect. You're being asked to be awake. And the time for sleep is over. This is your last warning disguised as a sacred opportunity. Your soul is knocking. Answer the door